Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where we are discussing climate change, abrupt climate change, things adjacent. I just wanted to bring y'all a quick video, hopefully quick, quote unquote quick. Earlier today, just because I wanted to try and flip my schedule a little bit. And also there's some things I just wanted to talk about, and I just realized that if I waited till the end of the day, that whole inspiration was going to be lost. Just a little side note, I wanted to avoid a few videos ago, maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, brought up the fact that climate change, and this is also was highlighted in the film Vice. I don't know if anybody saw this. So the term climate change was actually a think tank creation. It was intended as propaganda to muddy the waters. It was intended to make people think or say, well, climate's always changing. So climate change is actually a bullshit term. It's global warming. It's warming. It's global warming. It's not, climate change obviously takes into account all the different things. The cold snaps and the extreme temperature swings, et cetera, that go against what people's ideas of, oh, it's getting warmer. But it was, the term is and was intended to make it seem like less of an issue. Climate change just sounds like climate change. It doesn't sound, there's no teeth to it. There's no weight to it. So we are talking about climate change, but we're talking about abrupt climate change, climate breakdown, global warming, climate catastrophe, anthropogenic climate breakdown. What else? Sixth mass extinction, near-term human extinction, et cetera, et cetera. Near-term human extinction sounds very speciesist, doesn't it? Why has it got to be all about humans? Anyways, I want to just move into some stories. So this was first brought to my attention from Nick Humphrey, and it's all over the news right now. There's a huge bomb cyclone in the middle of the United States. Basically, a low-pressure system, basically equivalent to a hurricane or a cyclone developing over land. If that's not bizarre, if that's not scary enough for you, I don't know what is. I don't know how people are, of course, everybody on the news is like, oh, this is an incredible weather situation, intense. Nobody's saying, well, here comes climate change, not bringing that to the fore, of course. So from Nick's Facebook page, extremely powerful central U.S. cyclone in progress. This is from yesterday. Minimum central pressure of 968 millibars. The strength and structure are more like that of an open ocean cyclone and not a land cyclone. High-end blizzard event on the high plains with gusts of 70, 80 miles per hour. Actually, I just heard 90 miles per hour recorded at DIA, which is the Denver airport. Snow and heavy rain spreading across the states northward into the Dakotas and Minnesota with high winds elsewhere. So yeah, I mean, it's causing a lot of havoc right now. A storm is forecast. This is from Axios. Some more information on this. Unusually strong storm to grow into raging blizzard across the U.S. plains. A storm is forecast to move out of the southwest and rapidly intensify over the plains of Colorado, Oklahoma, and Kansas on Wednesday, bringing a wide array of life-threatening weather hazards for a large part of the country. Why it matters: the storm is likely to intensify at a rate that will qualify it as a meteorological bomb, short for bombogenesis, which describes non-tropical storms whose central pressure drops by at least 24 millibars in 24 hours. In fact, the storm is likely to rival some of the most intense weather systems on record in parts of the plains, as measured by its minimum central air pressure. In general, the lower the pressure, the stronger the storm. While it isn't tropical in origin, the storm could have a minimum central air pressure that's typically found in a Category 2 hurricane. We're basically looking at hurricanes forming over land. Incredible. The storm is likely to bring nearly every weather hazard possible at once. In a swath of land from South Texas to eastern Nebraska, a severe thunderstorm outbreak is predicted to take place on Wednesday, which includes the potential for tornadoes. The region at risk for severe thunderstorms will push eastward on Thursday as warm, humid air is drawn northward from the Gulf of Mexico. Meanwhile, in the plains of eastern Colorado, they're being slammed right now. In parts of Nebraska and Kansas, rain, freezing rain, sleet, and heavy snow are forecasted as the storm intensifies. Some areas may pick up more than a foot of snow as wind gusts to 70 miles per hour lead to blizzard conditions. The closure of entire interstates, including I-70 in Colorado, are possible. And I think that's actually going down right now. Blizzard warnings have been posted from Colorado, including Denver and Colorado Springs, into southeastern Wyoming, as well as Nebraska and southwest South Dakota. As the storm spins northeastward, it's predicted to bring heavy rain on top of a deep snowpack in the upper Midwest with potential for severe flooding in some areas. Because of the storm's low air pressure, it will generate a huge and powerful wind field as air rushes toward the storm center. High wind watches over a vast region from South Texas to Iowa, and wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour are possible in the hardest hit regions, the National Weather Service warns. The bottom line, the storm system is going to affect the entirety of the central states from the U.S.-Mexico border to the U.S.-Canadian border. It's unusual to see a low-pressure area intensify so rapidly over land, since this is more common over the oceans, where the contrast between air masses tends to be sharper, along with added potential energy for oceans. So that is happening right now. Big fat mess, especially in Colorado, and I believe in Nebraska. It's really going crazy. So the other thing I want to cover right now is tomorrow, March 15th, there's a huge climate strike going on, organized by students. Hundreds of thousands of students prepare for global climate strike. Here are 5 ways you can help. This is from EcoWatch. This is from yesterday. In 92 countries and counting, hundreds of thousands of students are planning to skip school on March 15th as a part of the School Strike for Climate, a growing movement of young people demanding that policymakers worldwide take urgent and radical steps to battle the climate crisis. For the past several months, students around the world have joined the Fridays for Future school strike, launched last year by Swedish teenager Greta Thunberg. No, she is not a. So there's a new this new right-wing propaganda thing, or this new idea that all of this is being orchestrated by like George Soros, Greta Thunberg has handlers and she's being propped up by some globalists who, shut the fuck up with that shit. Just shut the entire fuck up with that. You guys know that's not what's happening. I'm sure that Greta Thunberg, now being as, famous as she is and being such a focal point, of course, she's got people like kind of looking out for her. I'm positive, but no, this is not she's not a globalist creation to enforce some kind of communist agenda 21 agenda, blah, blah, blah. Like, just stop it, guys. This is real. Climate change is actually a real phenomenon, and it's going to lead to our extinction. And the children who are probably not going to have a future are very concerned about that, as they should be. That's what's happening. The obvious Occam's razor, guys. The simplest reasoning behind something. The obvious is probably true. Not everything is a conspiracy. Some things are a conspiracy. Not everything is a conspiracy. Discernment is key. Anyways, Greta Thunberg, whose solitary protests outside her country's parliament, inspired by the Parkland students advocating for stricter gun laws in the U.S., generated headlines that helped spur the global youth climate movement. I think we are only seeing the beginning. I think that change is on the horizon, that people will stand up for their future. Thunberg told The Guardian about the mass mobilization plan for March 15th. It's going to be very, very big internationally, with hundreds of thousands of children going to strike from school to say that we aren't going to accept this anymore. Visit Fridays for Future, etc. So here are the things you can do. Visit fridaysforfuture.org for more information. Find a protest near you, U.S. protests here. 3, plan and register your own protest. 4, check out this 350.org resource page. 5 ways you can support the school climate strikes. 5, spread support on social media with the hashtags Fridays for Future, Climate Strike, and School Strike for Climate. I've already done a few posts on that today. Although the movement has elevated public demands for coordinated global efforts to cut planet warming emissions generated by human activity, Thunberg added, I am not more hopeful than when I started. The emissions are increasing, and that is the only thing that matters. I think that needs to be our focus. We cannot talk about anything else. We are striking because our world leaders have yet to acknowledge, prioritize, or properly address our climate crisis, declares a mission statement from the U.S. organizers. We are striking because marginalized communities across our nation, especially communities of color, disabled communities, and low-income communities, are already disproportionately impacted by climate change. That is very true. We are striking because if the social order is disrupted by our refusal to attend school, then the system is forced to face the climate crisis and enact change. The statement continues, excuse me, big breathing. We are striking for the Green New Deal, for a fair and just transition to 100% renewable economy, and for ending the creation of additional fossil fuel infrastructure. And it goes on and on. Or not on and on, but, you know, there's a little more. If I just want to quickly ask a question of the deniers or this is all a plan people. If this was such a, you know, if this was such an organized plan, why is it that, you know, in general, climate change videos or about climate change, you know, videos delineating the severity of climate change get very few views and very little support. Not because we're wrong, because we're right. Because people don't want to acknowledge this is happening, because the truth is way too scary. Why does Extinction Rebellion's videos have like 600 views? Like all of Extinction Rebellion's videos have less views than the videos on this channel, which is ridiculous. So if they're, you know, if Extinction Rebellion is supposedly a part of this, if all these people are supposedly, you know, if this is a whole, you know, funded and backed thing by so-and-so, why do so few people want to pay attention to this? That's what I want to know. And another point I wanted to make is that your talking points are actually talking points that were thought up in a think tank by corporations who want people to ignore this problem so that they continue making money off of you until we all die. That's the truth. You're parroting and regurgitating misinformation and propaganda by people who don't care about you. That's how stupid you are. So, you know, I hope you feel good about that. That's all. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so at the links below. Until next time, peace.